All right. Today's discussion, tung sahur. I was sitting and reflecting on the absurdity of our reality and thinking about how we live in this world where the latest generation, Gen Alpha, is especially obsessed with things that don't make any sense. And that speaks to me on a spiritual level because none of this shit makes sense. Life. Like, what is that? Like, seriously, what even is that? And for me, being a part of Gen Z, it's like they've kind of taken what we've done and like pushed it even further. I feel like what speaks to Gen Z is disorder, non-conformity, less structure, you know? And I feel like Gen Alpha is kind of taking it and like running with it. Triple T is proof that we are living in the greatest timeline. Hear me out. Life is just prompts. Gen Alpha loves shit that doesn't make any sense at all. All the Italian brainwash shit, everything. It's just so. Try showing it to your mom or your grandpa. And they're like, what the fuck is this? They're like, yeah, there's no hope for this new generation. It's cooked. You know? But there's something about it that's like, you can't explain, and there's like an allure to it. And I feel like it speaks to the collective understanding, the subconscious understanding for 99% of people, that none of this is real. You know? That life is just absurd. What we perceive as reality, what we perceive as true, what we perceive as possible, is just a small subsection of the wider spectrum that is the universe. You know, even outside of space and time, beyond matter, it's all just the ether. It's all just the void. You know? There's a certain level of indication, there's a certain confirmation that is brought by the presence of tung. You can just make anything now. You can literally just make anything now. Like, there is nothing stopping you. There used to be this really long gap in modern society between conception and implementation. You know, before, if you had an idea and you wanted to broadcast it to the world, you had to write it down somehow, get your sticks and stones, jot down your idea, print it onto some stone tablet, make each stone tablet one by one, put it up around your town, hope people read it, hope people talk to you about it, and the only people that would be able to download this idea that you were uploading into the local town, the local psyche, was to see it with their own eyes. You know? And as technology progressed, we were able to speed up this process with the newspaper. You know? And now it took a little less time to come up with an idea and to let the world hear it. And the limit was physical media. You know, how many people could receive this newspaper to download your idea? And then with the internet, you know, it's uploaded for everyone to see. And the only limit is access to the hardware, access to the computer, access to the screen, the internet that relays this information. And with AI, it's a completely new level where you have an idea and you can phrase it as simply as English, like speakable words. Like with me being a programmer, I'm used to implementing things that are outlandish, things that don't already exist. But the way that you have to bring it about into reality is that the process has been sped up, yes, but the language required to bring it here is complicated, and only a few select amount of people can implement it, you know? And it was an easier thing to control. It was an easier thing to filter what was allowed into our reality, you know, by our lizard overlords, you know, as the lowly goyim that we are. There was only certain things that we could make and that would be funded and that would be distributed and would be allowed to enter our eyeballs, you know. But now it's just like, thank God that it's just like bullshit, you know, like there's so much shit that is like awful, and it's not even awful, it's just like, what, why? But that's exactly it. Like, why? Like, there is no reason. Like, there is no thing. There is nothing. There is nothing. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, there is nothing. And everything that we perceive is just an illusion. Everything is just a hologram. Everything is just a projection. Everything is you, just externalized in the outside. And the barrier between conception and implementation is now almost zero, you know. And the next generation of creators will be able to go out there, and you get this at that one end of the spectrum where it's like, okay, cool, it's funny, haha, funny, you know. And then there's the other side where you have revolutionary ideas, things that will fundamentally change the paradigm of our society, you know. We'll be able to solve homelessness like that, hunger. There is no limit. And it's also a reflection of what is already possible in the void, in the infinite, in the ether, you know. The way that reality works is that everything that you see is a confirmation of your internal beliefs. And there is no delay between conception and implementation into what you see on the outside. But that doesn't always seem to be the case, because let's say that you're schizo enough to believe in manifestation, and you believe that you can bring anything into your reality that you can believe, you know. And you know, you sit down, you do your journaling, you do your scripting, you do your meditations, you do your whatever it is that works for you to manifest things. And eventually, you know, over time, as you keep proving to yourself that you can manifest things consciously, you start being able to manifest things faster. And this is facts. Like, ask your local schizo. Like, the more that you start doing these things, the more it starts happening, the more you start believing. And the shorter amount of time is required to manifest things, you know. That time delay between your desire and it manifesting is you. You bring that time delay around. All time is an illusion. Your nervous system cannot handle the instant arrival of your desire. So, you make up all these events, things, especially in the beginning, that help you believe more easily. You know, let's say that for a while you've been wanting to get a job, and you just can't seem to get a job. And you finally lock in. Now, I can speak from personal example. I graduated with a degree in computer science. I went to a top university in the country, here in America. And I always had this feeling that I wasn't enough, and that I wasn't smart enough, and that I didn't know shit, you know. I felt like everything just kind of like went in one ear and like out the other. Like, I couldn't really process. I felt like I didn't really know how to program, you know. And when I graduated, there was a year after where I was unemployed and I wasn't able to find a job. And I spent that year basically studying and revisiting all these topics, all these things that I was insecure about, all these things that I felt like were proof that I wasn't enough of a software engineer, all these things that made me feel like I didn't deserve a job. And so I started doing all of the, I read all the interviewing books, learning the art of getting a job, especially in the software engineering world, revisiting all the technical concepts, making a lot of projects on my own from start to finish, and helping myself believe, you know. And finally, after all of this, I was able to get a job at Amazon, and it was the job of my dreams at the time. Now it's fuck Amazon. But I was so happy, and I was like, finally, like I deserve this. I got it, and the only limit was the belief. Like, and for those logical people out there, they're probably thinking like, okay, well, you locked in and you got it. Like with enough effort, you can do anything. But that's the thing. And this is for all you men out there, for all the chuds out there. Women have this fundamental understanding of reality that is just better. Like it's more accurate. They're a little more delusional, And your average woman, not all of them, the average woman is more likely to believe in tarot, to believe in manifesting, to believe in scripting, to believe in all of these things, And your average guy is just a meathead, and they feel like they have to struggle and they have to fight their way to earn things, And it's just not necessary. Like, the only necessity is to believe. And so, as you start meditating, as you start growing, as you start believing in all these things, proving to yourself that things are a little less solid than they seem, literally, it's collapsed. And so, thank God for Triple T. Thank God for Triple T and for bringing me the proof that I needed that we are in the greatest timeline.